Welcome to the MD Moto Group channel. I'm Dr. Brian Dominguez. There's Engineer Mendoza. I have no idea, don't ask. And we're up on the top of Vail Mountain Ski Resort. It was a 10-kilometer hike for us, and we're just checking things out. I think we're going to talk about teamwork today. Check it out. Okay, so we're on Shrine Pass. Doesn't look steep, but it's really steep. It's really rocky, bumpy. We don't have off-road tires. And so we're probably just going to go back and do something else that's more interesting for us.
It is me, because if it was up to Brian, we will go through that, but we just witnessed a four-wheel drive vehicle go through that rocky spot, and it's pretty not easy.
Speak up.
A pickup?
Speak up.
Oh, well, I'm incapable of doing some things, and this is one of them. And perhaps if I had the right tires, which in the past I had, I'll give it a try. But there is no sense in breaking a foot or something when the day is still long and we can enjoy the rest of the route. So I'm sorry, Brian, and thank you for the 2 cards that I got today for you to ride my bike in difficult spots. I think that's what a team does. We help each other, even though sometimes it can be frustrating. But we also have to recognize our abilities and disabilities. So we are gonna go back and take the next route.
So Deja, what you're suggesting is that I take your bike down around the corner, about 300 meters,
Yes, and then you come up.
and then walk all the way back up. That's about 600 meters total. And then go all the way back down. So I gotta do about a kilometer,
No, you're gonna.
and I'll do it happily.
What you're gonna do is just keep me safe.
And that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get this done.
Bye.
Okay, so today we had a good ride. We went. We tried to go over Shrine Pass in Colorado, which looked fantastic, but the road was actually pretty difficult. in the sense that certain parts were quite steep and a lot of rocks. And so Deja wasn't confident to go up those hills. I could have done it probably without incident. Probably meaning that, yeah, maybe I, crash and dump the bike and have some troubles. Maybe, but probably not. Could I have taken her bike up there? Probably. So she wasn't confident to go up. So we decided, we're gonna go back. I didn't want to have to ride her bike up there. But in her defense, I've got to say that we have road tires on. We just spin on the rocks. It was a little bit wet. And her bike's also been lowered because she's pretty short, particularly, compared to me. So her bike's lowered, and it hits topes. It hits the speed bumps. So she grinds over that stuff because it's lower. And she would have been bottoming out. So even if I had taken her bike up, I would have been bashing the hell out of it going up there. And then, with those, they're like 80-20, 80% street tire. So yeah, we could have done it, but it would have been a pain. Also, her gear ratios are much higher than mine. So when you're trying to do dirt on her bike, you really have to play the clutch and the throttle, a lot of clutch and throttle. Whereas you end up with a lot of speed as a result. Where my bike, the F800 GS, can crawl over that stuff. So she has to sort of get speed. So really, whenever she's going someplace, she's got to work twice as hard to get to the same spot as me. So in her defense, although, and I have to admit that she feels like a failure when she does that. And it shows up later in her riding. Her lack of confidence in her riding immediately after shows up, like she's failed or something. But that's not really a fair situation, considering that her bike does not perform the same off-road, and it's not set up for stuff that is just sort of technically medium, I think. Anyways. And the video doesn't really show how steep it is or how lumpy it is or rocky or anything like that. So anyways. Good on her. And we just decided, hey, well, whatever. We don't really need to prove anything. We've been in way worse situations. We don't really need to prove anything. So we're just going to turn around and go do something else. And that works out. So what we ended up doing is we went down to Leadville, Colorado. And when we entered Leadville, which is a small town, it's an old town, it's pretty interesting. There's a huge, lead mine or something, old pit mine. Looks like a disaster, really. I mean, they've cut away half of a mountain. And, progress. I guess that's what progress looks like, but that's what it is. And there's all these tailing ponds and stuff. It's kind of, whatever. We need that because we need it, but it doesn't make it look any better. Environmentally, it looks like hell. But we take advantage of that in many ways. So it's not to point an ugly finger. It's just, it is what it is. But anyways, we entered Leadville and everybody was kind of sporty. Everybody looked fit. And it's like, wow, this is a fit looking town. So anyways, we pulled into this good spot and we grabbed a coffee and a snack. And there were these other tables full of all these fit people. And of course, Deja asks, what are you guys doing? Like, where are you from? And why is everyone here? And so this table behind us, these four good looking guys were sitting down, and one of them, there was a race. There was a 100-mile race, 160 kilometers. And one of them was going to run this race the next day. And, the other three were there to support. So they were kind of like a team, right? And so they would come in. So they're moral support. They're there to help the guy get ready for this race and go. And they would come in something like the 60-mile mark. So at about 100 kilometers. They would come in and they would be able to run with him, and they would be able to carry some of his stuff if that was needed for the remainder of the race. So from 60 to 100. And that's, that's important, right? Because you think, like, at 60 miles, this isn't a physical sport at that point. Like, you're not built to run 60 miles. So it's purely mental. You were just mentally pushing yourself. And to have your colleagues, your teammates come in to cheer you on and to carry your watch or your bottle of water, whatever it is, I don't know what they'd be carrying, to carry that stuff and just run with you is huge, because it's all in your head at that point. And that kind of support is just incredible. So that was really cool. An experience, and I'm so glad that Deja turned around and started asking these guys questions. They were all from New York, and they'd come down for this race, and just phenomenal. So the city was full of folks like this, which was really inspiring. And then we had to leave, and we went up. We headed north, and the weather just got terrible. And of course, Deja and I, we ride as a team, right? So whoever's in the front has responsibilities for leading and paying attention and controlling traffic. And whoever's in the back is sort of like the defensive back, right? We have to control our position. We have to keep people off of us. We have to make sure we see who's coming up. If we're changing lanes, we got, maybe we're the first to change lanes so that we hold traffic back so the other person can get in, and we do these kind of things. Well, the rain was so heavy that it was pretty dangerous, and we really had to pay attention at that point. Because on the motorcycle you can actually see better. You have better visibility in the rain than most cars. People have their window wipers going like mad, and they really can't see very well. They certainly can't see motorcycles very well. So you have to be very conscious of this. And both front, the lead and the follow, have to work together on different aspects of the ride in order to be visible, in order to control the lane, in order to make sure you're going fast enough that you're not going to get rear-ended, but not so fast that you can't control when obstacles come up. And there were obstacles. There's trucks that were pulling over and stopped on the side of the road because they couldn't see anything, and this kind of thing. So in terms of teamwork, it's really critical that we understand in every team what our tasks are individually and how we can support each other in order to meet our final goal. And it's a shared challenge, and it's a shared goal. And fundamentally, it doesn't get more complex than that. Despite all the complexities of the team psychology and how teams work and create flow and things like this. So that was basically our day. It was a great day. We had a defeat. We had this challenge that we couldn't overcome, but we pivoted. We ended up with a great experience with these fellows, a bunch of fit guys from New York. It was a good time. It was a nice conversation. And then we had this challenging ride back through really severe rain, actually, and some traffic on the I-70 coming back, and it all worked out. So that was our day. Hope you liked that. If it was interesting, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you next time.